And now, it is time for NXTeam, your source for all NXT news.
Step back, time is running out every day. Take a long look in the mirror. Sit back, listen up, now's not the time for your misdirection. It's over.
We are back for some NXT news. Lots of happenings going on in the world of NXT. NXT UK coming back, the aftermath of NXT Takeover 30, and of course, the NXT Super Tuesday shows. Obviously, we won't be reviewing everything that has happened, but we will be covering the Cliff Notes because this is the NXTeam show. Thank you guys for joining us. With me, I am not alone. I got the one and only Njpw here, the man who runs Njpw Podcast and No DQ, a member of No DQ family.
I don't know DQ. Let's not do that. Let's not give me that much credit. But
let's be honest. You definitely might as well be part of it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah.
He is a very long tenured member of No DQ.
Yes.
Right here in Njpw. So say hello, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. Oh, no. Said that to me. Thank you very much. Appreciate that very much. It's a great day to be an NXT fan because NXT UK is back. The Super Tuesdays have been tremendous. Takeover. I watched that along live. It was a damn good show. I'll be honest. It was great, and I think people are not giving it enough credit. So,
yeah, I feel you. I feel you 100%. I the funny thing is, I did not like the Cardiff show. I'm one of the few people that didn't. Well, we can talk about that another time for sure. But with us as well, he is just a simple man. He is Noah Foster, the man who also believes in 205 Live mattering. 205 Live's a part of the NXT news because it's part of the NXT brand. So it does matter, Noah. You got your wish.
Yeah, it only took 50
you are
minutes.
not alone. We are here with you. Okay.
Hold on. We gotta do it. We gotta do it right. There you go.
Hey.
I saw it. There you go.
Thanks for the solid intro, James. Yeah, NXT, they are on fire right now. I'm super excited for NXT UK's return. Wish they kept the original theme. I'm excited for their announcement. Things are good among the black and gold.
Yeah, very, very much so. Obviously, we'll talk about NXT Takeover 30 first because that is kind of the event that kicked all of this off, including the NXT UK announcement. What do we think of the show? Because I really liked the show right up until the end. I feel like it kind of trailed off. Maybe that's just me, though. I feel like there could have... I feel like it kind of was hindered now that we know what we know because Karrion Kross got a shoulder injury where it was busted. Like I'm surprised he was even able to work on the thing afterwards.
Right.
So we'll start with Jeff since he's the most famous out of all of us. Jeff, what did you think of NXT Takeover 30?
My head's big enough as it is, James. Jesus.
Prepare for me to make it bigger.
Huge head. Gargantuan. Just a huge. So I liked it. I liked the kickoff match. I wish the kickoff match hadn't been on the kickoff because our boys Brazango, my goodness. My dad, who does not watch wrestling full time anymore, even was giddy that that Fandango became a champion because that is long the hell overdue.
Yes.
No question about that. And the fact that it happened at NXT, I'm fine with that because I love the black and gold brand.
Yeah,
and Tyler also, exactly, and Tyler's deserved it too. There's no question about that. Tyler is an amazing talent. He's not gotten the due that he is due, in my opinion.
He's not won a single championship up until that point.
Right? Yeah. Neither one of them had. That's the thing. So it's kind of ridiculous when you think about the fact that Fandango's debut on pay-per-view was beating Chris freaking Jericho at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and 7 years later, he gets his first championship. That is some bass-ackwards booking. It's ridiculous. Balor and Thatcher. I'm not surprised Balor won. I was hoping Thatcher would win because I love Timothy Thatcher, and I think him and Gulak as a team in the Indies has not been touched upon near enough in WWE. I hope they go there, because if you're a fan of the United Wrestling Network like I am and follow Marquez's shows, Thatcher and Gulak were freaking beasts as the United Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Good grief. So Thatcher's only got upside, in my opinion, and I think Gulak would be better served moving not down, because I don't think NXT is a downward move, but definitely a move along to the side. Priest winning the North American Championship, love it, absolutely love it. I love winning that match, honestly, and I think that Priest definitely deserves it. He's untapped and underrated, in my opinion. Pat McAfee shocked the shit out of me. He really did.
Pat McAfee was the highlight of NXT Takeover 30.
Like McAfee's performance, like I want so bad for Lawrence Taylor to go back in time 25 years and do a tenth of what the hell McAfee did. Dude, seriously.
It's insane, because Pat, you could tell, like, he wanted to have the best match on the show, and he fucking did.
He did.
No one, not a single celebrity other than maybe Ronda Rousey can fucking say that. Pat McAfee killed it. He killed it with Adam Cole.
No, one Pat McAfee, to me, is worth, and I'm gonna get shit for this for my NWOites, is worth 10 Dennis Rodmans any day.
Yes.
And the minute amount that WWE paid him to do that, compared to the ridiculous amount of money thrown at Rodman, Malone, Leno, Mr. T back in the day, any of those guys, it shows how dedicated Pat is to going, I don't want to be some football player that wrestles. I want to be a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's even sadder, and I know you guys will agree with this. After watching this, and maybe I'm the only one that kind of felt this dread for a certain MMA fighter. I couldn't help but feel bad for Cain Velasquez. Yeah. Because he would have loved it in NXT. Yeah. Because Cain had an awesome debut match in AAA.
He really did. He really did, and I think, and again, it tends to be the cliche thing to shit on Vince, and I'm gonna try real hard not to do that a lot of the time. I really do. But
I stopped trying a long time ago.
I know. I knew, but
Jeffrey James.
Vince putting Velasquez against Brock right away. Was doomed from the start. Now, I will say, being in that crowd at SmackDown and seeing Velasquez come out, granted, it's an LA crowd. Rey Mysterio's with him. They love Rey in LA. So he got the pop. But if that happens anywhere else, I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
100% agree.
Anyway, we went off into the weeds as we always do. Dakota Kai, I feel, was the one mistake they made at TakeOver. I feel they should have pulled the trigger on Dakota and put the belt on her. I do. I love Dakota. I think Dakota's in the same category. Not quite as long tenured as Breezango, don't get me wrong, but Dakota has been busting her hump week in, week out, day in, day out. I think there's more meat on the bone putting champion Dakota with challenger Tegan in a long-term program building toward the next takeover.
True. Well, here's the problem, and then we'll get to what you thought of the show, obviously, after he talks about the main event. My thing about Dakota Kai, and as good as she's been in the role, I think there's two things that hindered her. One is actually Raquel Gonzalez. I'm sorry, anybody that wants to tell me that Raquel Gonzalez has been any good for Dakota Kai's character is delusional, in my opinion. It has not had any effect positive whatsoever. That's one thing. The second thing is, why did she have to turn heel to begin with? You're already lacking so many female tag teams in the supposed women's tag team division that's supposed to span all 5 brands of WWE, yet there's not one legitimate team now because you've broken every single one of them up. And you could tell, as much as I like the crowd pop it got, you could tell there was Vince's hands all over that at War Games. You could fucking tell. You just could. And it's like, it was rushed. And I know NXT doesn't rush stuff like that. So you knew it was a last-minute decision. Dakota Kai and Tegan Nox were a perfect freaking babyface team, especially for a heel Kabuki Warriors. You knew they should have won the championships then. Why didn't you put the belts on them? Why turn Dakota heel? Why give her this run if you're not going to put the NXT championship on her?
And especially with Candice LeRae almost a Locke turn heel once Johnny turned heel, it was going to happen.
Right.
So, there's so few babyface women, period, in NXT. So, there's so now.
The ones that are babyfaces are less heelish.
Right. Yeah. It's okay. Okay. Well, you're not quite as bad as the other ones. So, the one team that they should have broken up a long time ago, it just happened last week with Bayley and Sasha. Like, that should have been done a year and a half ago. But the Iconics breaking up, stupid. I don't care how much Vince sees in Peyton. I love Peyton to pieces. Love her. The Iconics should have broken up. It's bullshit. Kabuki Warriors. Kylie wanted to go home. I get that. I don't shit on that one. Whatever. But the other teams, no, they're dropping like flies. You're absolutely right, James. It's ridiculous how they screwed that up with Dakota and Tegan. They could have had them either win the tag titles from the Kabukis or go long term as a team and then get so frustrated that Dakota finally snaps.
Dude, my friend and I, Owen, and Noah, I believe, has seen this. We've done a whole fantasy booking series where we actually did a whole tournament of tag teams with the initial tag team titles because they botched that so bad.
Yeah, they did.
It's just the debut all the way up to now. It's just been botched. Yeah. Of course, because Vince doesn't care about tag team wrestling. Never mind women. So
right. So then the main event, so unfortunate what happened to Cross. It just breaks my damn heart because I love Cross and I love Scarlett. We all know I love Scarlett. I made that more than clear when I made the logo for the channel, the old channel. So, love me some Scarlett. But it's unfortunate because you knew Keith Lee the minute that match was over. Like, they called it in my chat room that night, watch TakeOver, Keith Lee's going up. So, they're going to lose Keith Lee, and then Cross is hurt. So they have to do this booking that we saw on Super Tuesday #1, which I'm sure we'll get to once Noah's done giving his thoughts on TakeOver. But, we said it on the review yesterday on No DQ. Without Karrion Kross getting injured, I don't think we have Finn Balor as the world champion.
Yeah, 100%, which that's like the biggest positive out of this.
That's good. I'm glad Finn won, and he's long overdue to be the champion. But do we see that if Cross is still healthy? So, no, am I wrong there? Or?
No, you literally just posed the what if, because this is literally a what if, or as Triple H would put it, a plan B. If it wasn't for Karrion Kross being injured, Finn Balor would have become champion. Super Tuesday 1 and 2 wouldn't have happened. To briefly highlight NXT Takeover 30, I enjoyed it. Takeovers are always a highlight to me as a wrestling fan. I really enjoyed the pre-show match. In my opinion, it did not deserve to be on pre-show. And again, just to highlight Breezango, they're tenured. It seemed like the only thing they were known for were creative entrances and always losing. The fact now, spoiler alert, they finally got the gold. Way long overdue and well-deserved based on what they have put in to this company. As far as Timothy Thatcher and Finn Balor, really good match. Pulls down nowhere just because of circumstances that happened in a previous triple threat qualifying match due to, I might add, another man being injured. And chances are if that man wasn't injured, that match wouldn't have happened, and we probably wouldn't have had the pre-show match. Think about that, because there's still a freak waiting to come back to NXT. His name's Dexter Lewis. I don't think he's done with Timothy Thatcher. I missed that guy, too. I believe he should have become the North American champion. Switching gears to the North American Championship match, I loved that ladder match. It did not surpass New Orleans, which I still think is the best ladder match. It
came damn close. History. It came damn close.
It came close, but not quite.
I think it could have. I think it could have if there was a crowd there. I think that's really what hindered it, honestly.
And again, kudos to NXT, who really made it feel like an organic show using the NXT talent. That is the best thing you could do. And again, safety and all things aside. But it felt different compared to what we've seen really from NXT over the last few weeks. Even the whole venue felt different. They changed the setup a little bit and the area. I enjoyed the Candice LeRae spots. Cameron Grimes was freaking hilarious. Glad Damian Priest won. He's taken hell of a bumps, has been an incredible performer and wrestler. I felt he really deserved the title. But honestly, any of those men, even the one that we could talk about for another hour on another stance, some might say he should have won. But that's a discussion for another day, and I'm not going to get into that because that's just going way in the weeds. Anyway, Damian Priest, great win. Candice LeRae, great spot. Cameron Grimes, great performance. And of course, Bronson Reed. Shout out to Bam Bam Bigelow with his gear. I loved that. Moving on into, what was it? The Pat McAfee Adam Cole match. Holy freaking shit. I don't know who the fuck this douchebag is, but I have never been impressed with a celebrity performance in a squared circle that much since Ronda Rousey's at WrestleMania. And I honestly would love to see that match again. As much as I thought I wasn't going to say it, that was my match of the night. Simple as that.
Dude.
Dakota Kai.
Sign him. Do you hear me? Sign him. Bring him to NXT. He's
I agree,
so
100%. I never thought I would say that. The guy can literally wrestle. And he's not there to be like, I want to be a wrestler. I want to try this one time. No, he's dedicated to this, and you can tell. He wants this. He wanted this. He wants to be this. Now use this. You are literally passing up a huge opportunity here in a future star. Bar none.
Go ahead.
It's amazing what training with Rip Rogers will do, huh?
Right. The only guy I can even remotely compare the celebrity going all in, and yes, I use the word all in on purpose, is Stephen Amell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There is no freaking reason Stephen Amell for him to do what he did with Daniels, and my God, was he amazing!
Yeah.
That was.
I think Stephen Amell should also be signed by AEW.
That table spot, Jesus.
Yeah, I think if Stephen Amell decides he's going to give wrestling a real try, he will set AEW on fire. I think.
100%. Agreed.
That's funny because
I'm waiting for him to come back. Personally, I've been waiting for him to show up with the Nightmare Family again to take on. But that's a discussion for another day. Maybe I'll talk about that in AEW Spark. Anyway,
we just honestly, but just one more thing on that, Noah. We just in a span of I think what was it been 16 minutes, we literally just talked about Cain Velasquez, Stephen Amell, and Pat McAfee, the three great, and Ronda Rousey, the four horsemen of celebrity appearances right there.
There you go. That's it.
You will never get better than those. Just don't even try. Just you're done. You're done at that point. Watch those four. Don't watch any of the rest.
Yeah, we could give you a top 20 of people not to watch. But anyway.
More than 20.
Okay. Dakota Kai, Io Shirai, predictable. Honestly, the whole Raquel and Kai setup since Portland, why? I don't think they're trying to create Kevin Nash and Shawn Michaels because people are trying to compare these two because Raquel is doing nothing to Kai.
I'd argue that Diesel actually did more than Raquel.
There you go. Anyway, it was a really good match, and I did like the spot at the end, though, where you do have the big giants, the big powerhouses of the women's division in NXT facing off, and I'm just waiting for that one-on-one, but again, we'll talk about that later. Good match, but Io Shirai, she eventually had to get the title. I kind of saw this coming, even though we voted Dakota Kai as Breakout Star of the Year last year. You would think she would be champion right now, and maybe Raquel could be more so an insurance policy. Nope, they didn't go for that. She's like just basically flip-flop on victories in tag team matches. And now, who knows what the hell she's going to do next? Back to the bottom. As far as the main event, this was just sad for me, okay? First off, I knew Karrion Kross was going to win, okay? It's as simple as that. We knew that the moment during GLB, it was a moment. It was a ratings ploy. If it wasn't for, again, setups, that moment wouldn't have happened. Because why else would you have two titles on the line in one match and then just vacate one? Why would you even try and unite two titles when you don't have a big enough, well-built mid-card as it is, okay? That was ridiculous. Good match, but ridiculous booking decision, in my opinion. Lately, NXT has been kind of doing those on the fly, and I don't like it. I think that's never driven. But good match, though. Horrible what happened to Kim. I truly feel like you said, if it wasn't for, literally tearing off his freaking shoulder muscle, we would not have Super Tuesdays, and we'd be having a whole different story now. But as far as takeovers, would I say this takeover surpassed the previous 29? No, but it's definitely one of my top 10 of all time.
I would say that this was what really got to me with Karrion is you could tell Keith Lee, because Keith Lee couldn't do any of his real big spots, and that was a key thing. You could tell he was hurt. Karrion, he couldn't do. He was being extra careful with him, as careful as he possibly could, just to get to that finish. Which is, by the way, is a sign of a consummate professional. And how do they reward him? By giving him a freaking T-shirt.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, I think that if this main event isn't marred with the injury, I dare say it's the best pay-per-view of the last three between All Out, SummerSlam, and TakeOver.
And I would agree with you. Oh wait, should we count Payback? Is that a pay-per-view?
I'm sorry. Focus the last four. Payback was what it was.
Payback was what it was.
Look, Payback was for one moment, but we can talk about that another day. And we all know what that moment was.
All Out, I definitely was the better shows, but definitely not by much because of that man injury, I will say. But I
already went off on that on Monday and yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
we don't need to. Trust me, you and I both. We don't need to. We're all set. We're all set.
Going on the weeds. Again, that's for another discussion, another form, another day. But yeah, TakeOver. Really enjoyed it.
Super Tuesday happened right after that. Obviously, Super Tuesday 1 happened. To me, I was only able to catch the main event because that was really what was hyped up. I didn't really get to see the other second hour just because of school and everything. And man, did I feel kind of ripped off in a way? Because why? All right. Everybody wants to say, okay. But now the match was one of the best Iron Man matches I've ever freaking seen in my life. And it would have gone down in history as one of the greatest Iron Man matches of all time had it not been for the freaking finish. Yeah. And that's the big problem here. Now, listen. I understand what they were trying to do here. It would have been fine if they did not... Sorry, hold on. Got my dad's giving me a dinner. I appreciate it.
It's the week of dad cameos on the Nerdy Q family.
Yes, it is. Thank you. He always makes a cameo. He's always got to go to the bathroom. For some reason, they put a bathroom in the kitchen, but I digress. So we watched this. I'm watching this. My friends and I are watching this, and we're like, you promised me a new champion, and then you did not deliver on the show. You fucked me. Yeah. You fucked me. You fucked me as a viewer.
Yep.
Why would you do that? It's just, it'd be one thing if you didn't promise a new champion. But you guaranteed it. You doubled down on promising. You guaranteed it. And then you fucked us. And then, obviously, we got a great... and then for what, by the way? On Super Tuesday 2, they started the freaking show. Finn Balor and Adam Cole did. Why? Yeah. What ass backwards booking is this? It's like the minute Mauro Ranallo left, he left because... You know why? I guarantee... I'm starting to wonder if Vince is starting to become more hands-on because it's kind of a coincidence that he's starting to get more hands-on and Mauro leaves. Just saying. Anyway, am I the only one? I'm judging. I'm reading the room, and I guess I'm not the only one, huh?
No, it's one of those things where. Oh, go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No.
Now you go first.
Okay. Again, you can't blame the ratings ploy for the fuck finish because they ran. For all intents and purposes, and yes, the Impact fans are going to hate me for saying this, they ran unopposed for 2 weeks. There is no reason they had to have a ratings grab with a fuck me finish with the title. There's no reason for that. Now, if rumor is to be believed, they are testing different nights, and they are testing different things out for NXT because Dynamite's whooping that ass. So,
no shit.
What I would, and again, we had this discussion in the main group chat, I believe. I would put NXT on Thursdays only because NXT UK is already on Thursdays. So WWE can market the living bejeebus out of it as NXT Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It
Thursdays
makes
could be
sense.
NXT because literally you have NXT UK for 1 hour, and then you have your NXT Encore literally on late at night. But instead of maybe doing like the Encore, maybe you literally just move it from Wednesday to Thursday night live in that 8 o'clock time slot where you have nothing coexisting with it to distract the viewers.
No, because and you know, people argue with me that Impact's not real competition, and whatever, and I understand that, and I do agree with that. But you have to remember, the hardcore wrestling fans like me are definitely going to be watching at 8 o'clock this coming Tuesday for the NWA UWN pay-per-view. I've got the next 4 ordered. I'm locked in, and I'm doing a review after. That's what I'm doing next Tuesday. I'm going to be a busy little boy every weekday until they kick me off the air, because I got to stay busy because I'm going nuts here. I got cabin fever. I got to talk. So
There you go.
it is what it is. I don't leave the house, and when I do, I get yelled at. So I don't want to do that. So I feel that they made a mistake with having the title match be a fuck finish. Like you said, James, it's completely unnecessary, way out of line. I felt like I was robbed as a fan of a guarantee, and it reeked, and again, I'm trying real hard not to, but it reeked of Vince. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
And what's even scarier to me, when I really let the hamster get going on that wheel, is Hunter's supposed to take over when Vince either passes the torch or passes away.
Right.
What if it wasn't Vince? What if Hunter
Not going to be. I'll answer that for you. It's not going to be. He's already, dude. Paul Levesque is already considering retirement from the industry.
Oh, jeez.
There are rumors that he's already considering retirement, which the fact that he's even considering that is maddening to me. Yeah. Because it shouldn't be that way. But Vince made it that way. He made it that way. He buried all of his freaking guys on the main roster. Now he's trying to bury the current guys that he has now because he wants total control. We talked about this on the Indie Force Extra on this very channel. You're going to see that preview. Trust me, believe you me. We talk about that exact freaking problem. He wants control of what apps they want to use. He wants controls of what infrastructure they're a part of. All he cares about and craves is total control. That's why he's doing it this way. That's why he put NXT to compete with AEW, so that way he can have more of a stranglehold on the industry. And by the way, that backfired because and Cody out of sympathy and Triple H out of betterment for the industry are actually trying to work together to make sure they don't compete again. Notice that the minute Dynamite heard that they were going back to Wednesdays, they said they were going to Thursdays. They did that on purpose. And God willing, that's the case. If, God willing, there's not an NBA game.
Well, Cody has put over that he doesn't believe there is a war, nor should there be sides. Let's just enjoy wrestling. Yeah. Cody has put that over a number of times.
I have said for as long as I can remember, but I've really drove it home the last couple of weeks on my network of podcasts and shows. I have a real issue with wrestling fans being the worst thing for professional wrestling. Yeah. What I mean by that is we can't just sit back and go, I like Raw. That's cool. I like SmackDown. Oh, cool. I like NXT. Oh, that's nice. I like AEW. Great. I love the NWA. No. It's like,
you're not criticizing. You're not thinking with your own brain.
Well, no. I don't mind not criticizing. Yeah. Criticism is one thing.
Yeah, right.
Putting people down for their choices is a unfortunately inherent human thing, and it's disgusting. It is what it is, though. That's how a lot of human beings are wired. Where if you like chocolate ice cream and I like strawberry, well, I have to hate you because you don't like what I like. And it's like
And that's one of the biggest flaws as you put it in the rest of the community. And that's when all these terms show up, like smarks and marks and stands.
Right.
And you're this,
And
you're
and and the whole thing is right.
I have to like your shit, or I'm wrong in this discussion. And if I fight that, then I'm just as wrong, and I'm just adding to it. There's no common ground, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Right. The whole thing is that wrestling is very much unlike competitive sports because there's 31, soon to be 32, stupid Seattle Kraken name, in the NHL. There's 32 teams.
Yeah.
I don't have to necessarily just like the Kings. I do in this house, but but I can put on my Vegas Golden Knights hat because they played yesterday. As we're taping this, they're playing right now. So there's choices in but it's still the overall NHL. You're still a fan of the game. Mm-hmm. There's apparently 458 NFL teams. It feels like now. But
probably be more if Rock merges it with the NFL soon.
Right? No shit.
Oh Lord.
So, but you still love the game. Some people like the Cowboys. Some people like the Steelers. Some people like the Packers. Misguided people like the Chargers. That's okay.
Misguided people love the Vipers in the XFL.
Exactly. Whew. Crazy people.
That's non-sports. I'm not part of that world, but I get what you're saying.
So, but at the end of the day, I don't hear people tearing people down for liking the NFL over the AFL or the XFL or whatever. But I constantly hear my fellow fans tear each other down for liking WWE and not AEW or vice versa. And I'm like, do you guys not see that this is why WCW is gone? Do you guys not see this is why ECW went out of business? Do you guys, and credit people, well, there was bad booking and poor management money. At the end of the day, ECW went out of business because the money wasn't there, yes. But ECW went out of business because the money wasn't there because their talent got picked up by the bigger two. And the talent got picked up by the bigger two because they were competing rather than sharing. Rather than going, you know what? We got strawberry, you guys got chocolate. We'll have a Super Bowl once a year and have strawberry chocolate ice cream in March.
There's no like once a year thing though when it comes to wrestling fans all coming together. You're not going to see Impact with WWE, AEW, NXT, NWA, and one night for one super show.
And again, we kind of went off from talking about NXT to talking about philosophies of life here, and that's whatever.
Yeah.
It's just it's awful that wrestling fans don't see how stupid wrestling fans are. It hurts my heart. Anyway, NXT Super NXT Super Tuesday, again, it was what it was. Whoever's fingerprints were on that main event, having the finish that went to a screwy finish and having carry over to the next week, we still got two phenomenal world title matches out of it at the end of the day. And I don't begrudge them that part of it. The storytelling on the shows, both Tuesdays, were great, I felt. But the finish of night one was just like...
Yeah.
And that's the thing. They potentially could have cost viewers for night two because they fucked the fans. Why are you doing that?
Well, again, that's how the fans react to that booking. And again, it comes down to that way that fans like we had. I'm a diehard fan of NXT, but you fucked me in this booking. I'm not watching you for 1 week. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. That goes basically what you were kind of talking about there, Jeff, where people just kind of like detoxify themselves from what they love. And it just again, it hurts me. I'm like, why the hell you people do this? I'm only on Twitter to literally be like, hey, this happened in wrestling. Hey, how are you? Okay. Right. I don't get into that. But I will say this. Tuesdays, I watch AEW Dark, if I can, because I work. And I watch Impact Wrestling. Yep. Recently, Impact Wrestling had Deonna Purrazzo versus Jordynne Grace. I look at the way that Iron Man match goes. That's the way I want an Iron match to go. Now, according to what I did read, though, there was another finish in mind for the Super quadruple Iron Man match that involved Pat McAfee causing a screwy finish. It makes me wonder if that would have been the one thing that would have given Balor the win that night. Would I have been happy with that result versus the follow-up match we had the following?
Yes, because we would have gotten a champion.
And that's why, and that's my thoughts exactly. Because when I think about Iron Mans, and we've had a bunch of them, we've had some screwy ones too. Might I remind you? when I think of Ironmans, that should be a definitive end to a storyline or title win. There should not be a continuation from that. Okay? So I appreciate the fact of the match qualities we got. Both were great. But I feel that Super Tuesday's one ending hurt the viewership of us as fans going into Super Tuesday 2, especially when you find, the NXT title's going to be figured out here. That's your top title. Correct me if I'm mistaken. Shouldn't your top title be the closer of your show? Because that's the main event. That's the big one. That's the one people should look forward to. That's the one people should want to go to. That's the spot where people should try and go for. And instead, it was within the first hour? What?
And then
booking really made me go.
And again,
when I was watching friggin' Super Tuesdays versus Impact Wrestling, where I saw Eric Young defend the friggin' Impact World Championship against Tommy Dreamer in the friggin' main event. Bottom line, Iron Man match should be a definitive ending. Your NXT title should always be your closer.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When I was watching Impact and NXT, I loved the Impact main event more because I feel like I didn't get screwed over.
Right.
And then, by the way, for what? For the beginning match of Super Tuesday 2. Yeah.
So, James, let me ask you this, because I know my feelings on this, and I'm pretty sure I know Noah's, but maybe not. When Cross went down, and they had to do something with the championship, I feel that we as fans feel that a lot of talent in NXT is underutilized, and they don't see a lot of TV time, especially in the USA Network era of NXT.
Yes.
Why not book a tournament?
That's exactly.
Why not? I mean, seriously, you can't tell me there's not 16 guys on that roster.
You could do 32.
Even 32. Between the actual guys that have done NXT TV for a minute and the guys that you're thinking of maybe bringing up from, the camps. Seriously, 32 guys, that's 16 matches. If you have a 2-hour show and you have 4 tournament matches each show, plus some filler stuff, you've got a month and a half or 2 months worth of television. Oh my God, what a concept.
Yeah, it sounds like New Japan booking, actually, but I agree with that 100%. I mean, did they not, correct me if I'm mistaken, did they not kind of do this with the Cruiserweight Championship? Except they did round robin. They didn't do single elimination. The NXT title should have been a single elimination tournament. This is truly, in my opinion, NXT Takeover 30. I think about that milestone. I thought, okay, we got a new champion for our mid-card division now, North American champion. We got a new champion for NXT. Buddy had to relinquish it. Okay, but this is your reset. So why not open the floodgates and really show us the future in NXT? Why?
Seriously, this last year of NXT has really depressed me.
Yeah.
The matches have been good. I'm not going to discount the match quality, but the Jesus Christ, scared the shit out of me. The destabilization
of the
roster has impacted the show greatly.
Yes.
Just the fact where, the biggest problem with NXT, and again, I'm going to crap on him, and I hate doing it, but it is. The biggest problem with NXT is that anytime Vince gets a wild hair up his ass to go, I want him on Raw or SmackDown, there's nothing Hunter can do.
Because, again, Vince owns everything.
Yeah,
right.
That's the problem. He wants total control. And that's another thing. It showed because why did we get that to open up the show? And then we get Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez in the main event. It was a great match. It was actually a really awesome cage match. It was a grudge match, steel cage. Wasn't anybody trying to escape over the top. It wasn't anybody trying to run away. Nope. Pinfall submission. They kept it in the ring. I love that match.
Go for the door or escape the cage.
However, why was that not the opener? And why was that the main event? It made no sense. You literally just fucked us. Then you say we're not totally fucked yet, and that they're going to compete on Super Tuesday, only to give it to the fans right at the start of the show. You weren't competing. You weren't competing with AEW. You were competing with Impact. Viewership-wise, you were set. I don't know why you decided, oh, let's
true.
put this, because we're so desperate to try to topple Impact all of a sudden. It's like I'm living in 2010 all over again.
Women, because again, we have to do first for women. The women must be at the top. So this steel cage match, the second or third women's steel cage match.
Not every women's match, not every women's match, not every other match. They're not every cruiserweight match even. As much as I love the cruiserweights, I think they're long overdue for a fucking main event, by the way.
I'm still waiting for their takeover match to happen.
Honestly, I'm still waiting for a main event to happen. I'm especially for the cruiserweight belt. You have the main event right there in Jordan Devlin and new champ right now. You've got to have that as the main event of at least one of your shows, if not a takeover, by the way. To
Worlds
really
Collide
get
too.
the NXT. Worlds Collide too. 100%. You have to do that. First off, that's beside the point though.
Right.
I just want to know why Super Tuesday was so buggy and it didn't feel like NXT to me. And I think that's the general consensus here, is that we're seeing it changing to what we were afraid of. By the way, this is, I said, and for some reason, I hate being proven right. I don't want to be proven right. For God's sake, Vince, I don't want to be proven right. I said this. I thought I had to stop watching NXT after New York because I knew he was going to take over, right? I thought he was going to take over. Why was I proven right? I thought that the minute that Vince saw what he was doing, they're like, just do whatever you want. I fucked up. I really fucked up. I guess he really is that delusional, because he's now coming in. He's now changing everything to the vision he wants to see it. Now, don't get me wrong. If that means NXT is going to be a third brand, that's fine, as long as it's with Hunter running the ship. Because I think Kevin Owens has been drastically underutilized, and he deserves another run there. Same thing with Cesaro. Cesaro, oh my God, is absolutely criminal. It's criminal. You can't convince me otherwise. That man deserves to go to NXT and win that championship just for the way he's been used on the main roster alone. Where's his world title? Where's his universal title runs? Nada. Nada after the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial. You want to know why it's such a laughingstock now anytime anybody wins the Andre the Giant trophy? A trophy to commemorate, by the way, the greatest giant in the world. You know why it's a laughingstock? Because you made it that way. Because you didn't want to give Cesaro the freaking time of day, even though you gave him the biggest win, arguably, of his career, when it should have been a world title right after that. You know,
you give him the trophy. You give him Paul Heyman.
Nothing.
And then you fuck it up.
Dude, Paul Heyman said he wished he did more with Cesaro. But again,
yes.
Other plans.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Paul and Vince had other plans. We were all made fools of for the last year or so. Yeah. Because we were told in reports, well, Eric Bischoff's running this show, and Paul Heyman's running this show, and now Bruce is running. Nobody's running fucking anything.
It was always Vince.
Nobody is running shit. It doesn't matter if Brother Love puts on that stupid pink makeup and that damn white suit of his and goes, I love this guy to be world champion. Vince's going to go, yeah, but.
And he's going to rip it up and then change his mind 5 seconds later.
Yep.
5 seconds before the show. 5 seconds before 8 o'clock.
Not afterwards. Okay.
Now, and the problem I have with that is the narrative that's been put on WWE Home Video, WWE Publishing, and WWE TV for the last almost 20 years now is that Bischoff was wrong to do that, to book Nitro on the fly. And I'm going, Bueller, Vince, you're doing that now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing the exact thing that you, yourself, on your television program, had your talent say, this is why WCW failed, because they were booked so haphazardly.
It's like, wait, I can do better, because I'm a genius. I'll make these initiatives.
See right. Jeff, here's the thing. He doesn't care if he screws up, because he wants to be in control. It doesn't matter. He's the biggest hypocrite of the century. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody fucking knows it. This guy has buried so much talent over the course of 19 plus freaking years. And so many of them could have made them so much freaking money, and he did nothing with them. And now we're at the point where now Raw is drawing 1.4 million viewers.
I never thought I'd hear that number.
Which, by the way, guess the last time wrestling drew that number, and it was actually like a big news headline. Impact's best rating ever. We're now at TNA Impact 2010 ratings here.
Yeah.
That's how bad Raw has fallen. And now we have the same regime infiltrating the brand that we love so much. So yeah, call us a little disgruntled, because we kind of are.
The thing is, we are in an era where if we were touting the brilliance and the wonder of a 1.1 million TNT rating 20 years ago, we even looked at like we had 3 hits. But because Dynamite drew a million plus, oh my God, we got 1 million! It's like, okay.
I simply said, good for them. 1, it's not the first time. 2, I just want what I enjoy in wrestling to thrive. And that's all everybody should want. You should just want to enjoy wrestling, want to thrive. I have a good friend, Megan. She is a dedicated, for life, fan of WWE. But she's coming to the point now, she doesn't know what to do with it. It's starting to disappoint her. It's like she feels like she's watching the same stuff and it's not getting better, and it's literally hurting her. And now she writes on it, and it's tough for her to write on it too.
Yeah.
We are in an era right now where we don't know how to go in wrestling, especially in the WWE, because it just right now is so broken.
Right. Yeah. James, yesterday on the review we talked about this, and I want to get your guys' input. We talked about the fact that there's critics saying well, AEW's just signing WWE castaways, and they can't really make it on their own. It's like, okay, here's my problem with that. WWE did the same thing with AWA talent. WCW did the same thing with WWE talent, and the difference is WCW signed a ton of people, and the only 2 that they signed that became bigger stars than they were Scott Hall, Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Period.
100%. Everybody else was a homegrown talent. DDP, Bill Goldberg,
Dallas, Booker, and Hogan and Savage were already big stars when they came over. And the argument was made to me that Hogan maybe made more money when he turned heel. I don't doubt that for a minute, because Bischoff freaking rolled the freaking money truck against Hogan's front door. Okay,
you can even argue the fact that Macho was a mid-carder for most of his run in WCW, putting other people over, and he was having some of the best matches of his career in Nitro.
Macho Man won twice as many world titles in WCW in the 4 years he was active there than in the previous 10 with WWF. Yeah. But he will always be remembered as the guy that put Flair over twice and Hogan over twice.
And DDP in that awesome street fight.
Which granted, Randy made Dallas. And Dallas tells me to this day, whenever we, commiserate or whatever, it's God bless Randy Savage for everything, right? So... without Randy Savage, I dare say there's no DDP Yoga, which God bless there is. So, I mean, really.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, but, it's anyway. We're way off the rails now. Let's go to NXT UK.
So yeah, but the thing I was just trying to point is, there's critiques of talent, being cast away and signed by the other company. It's like, yeah, but Vince isn't giving these guys a chance. A lot of these guys we're seeing on AEW got their start on NXT or one of the other shows, and now they felt they had to go elsewhere. Right. NXT UK, I pray to God they start thriving again when they come back next week, because goodness sakes, they've got so much talent on that roster. You mentioned Jordan Devlin earlier, James. If Jordan Devlin and who's the Cruiserweight champion on NXT?
Jordan Devlin and Santos Escobar.
If Escobar and Devlin aren't on a takeover, I call bullshit.
I agree.
You got Devlin. He's great. You've got Walter, who we've all seen Walter training for this inevitable return of NXT UK. He's gonna start chopping people's chest through. I love it.
Yes.
Imperium's pissed because they lost the tag titles. They're going to be wrecking shit for sure. You've got Kaylee Ray. Yeah, you got Kaylee Ray. You've got Gallus. There's so NXT UK was my favorite wrestling TV show for an hour each week until the NWA brought Power along. So, and I hope that Europe isn't so batshit. They're not compared to us. They're not for sure. But I hope they got the COVID under control enough where they can have decent people into the arenas to wrestle, and I dare say, hopefully, decent, if not good crowds.
Yeah,
right. But again, I feel like as soon as NXT UK starts, we're initially just going to see the empty arena, and it will slowly build, just like they did over here with the Performance Center era and NXT. But again, like you said, Jeff, that roster is so stacked with talent. Stacked beyond belief. And the fact that Nigel McGuinness then might be coming back too as commentary over there as well, that just makes me so happy. Nigel and freaking Andy Shepherd, please. Yes, I need that commentary.
How about Dave Bradshaw? We need Dave Bradshaw along with those guys too, because Dave is a freaking. Has anybody heard Dave Bradshaw from WCPW? I think he's so underrated. It's a crime he's not signed.
Yeah, it's with the departure of Mauro Ranallo, anybody else they get is gonna have to be like the best thing since sliced bread #2. Like honest to God. So, because they need a voice, and Nigel's a great voice, but he is an analyst. He's not a play-by-play guy. They need somebody that can call the action that roster deserves, because that roster, I will put up against any brand's roster in that damn company.
Yeah,
and absolutely. I would agree 100%. And again, Mauro brought the energy with those moments too, with everybody when they really spoke out. Vic Joseph, he's just flatline middle.
It's because Vic is a decent little announcer.
Yes.
He's not Mauro. He's not JR. He's not even Michael Cole. Which
nowhere near.
And the problem is they're counting on Vic to anchor a major television show for one of their brands. No, he is main event or whatever the other B shows are at best.
205 Live. He was 205 Live.
Dude, Vic Joseph, here's his first call. What a great takedown. Overhead toss.
Yeah.
That was his first match, okay?
And it's like, I'm not knocking the guy, because he's gotten
a lot better. He's gotten a lot better.
And he is a product of where he came from.
Exactly.
He's grown. He's not, some guy that's called indies. He's called, he is a WWE person. So
they're trying to build the next Michael Cole.
Which again, I don't have a problem with that, because Michael Cole, I have shot on Michael Cole for 20 years, whatever, or 20, whatever the hell it's been. It feels like
too long. It's been too long for everybody, and I'm younger than you are.
Yeah, I was a fan when they started phasing Cole in, and I'm going. I want Pettengill back. But they need to have somebody out of the gate with NXT UK to be a dynamic play-by-play guy who knows his moves, who knows his shit. Because if they have somebody that's gonna, and again, Vic Joseph is being the scapegoat right now, but I'm just gonna use it. If they have a Vic Joseph-like guy to call the first night of NXT UK back,
no, it's got to be Dave Bradshaw.
Tries, but Andy Shepherd doesn't know necessarily all the moves, but he does know the talent. And again, like you said, Nigel McGuinness, he's the analyst. But right now, all you really have in NXT UK commentary is basically two kind of hybrid analyst play-by-play. You don't have like that guy that brings you in.
Yeah, that's why I say it's got to be Dave. It's got to be Dave Bradshaw. It's got to be. Dave Bradshaw is probably the best candidate. He's probably the closest thing tomorrow you will get. Either that or the freaking JD from freaking House of Glory. Those are the only two people that I could see genuinely being able to match the energy of Mauro Ranallo while also being able to call.
Gets the wrestling community going. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, well, he's also real.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the thing is, I've always felt that, with the exception of Lance Russell, and I forget his partner's name, and Jerry Lawler's going to kill me when I say that, but other than the Memphis team, back in the old Memphis territory days, the best wrestling announcing team on the mics, on the headsets, have been a credible, sports knowledgeable play-by-play and a former wrestler as the analyst. Vince and Jesse, Vince and Jerry, JR and Jerry, Mauro and Nigel, Cole and Bradshaw, Cole and Taz. Right now you've got
Cole and Taz was fucking phenomenal.
Cole and Taz only gets a little bit of the knock compared to Cole and Bradshaw because I don't like Taz. It's because Taz's a dick. But personally, to me, not just because he's a
right, we discussed this in chat.
So, but again, in AEW, you've got Excalibur, who, if you're a PWG fan, he's great. If you're anybody else, you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but it's the Bucks.
The reason why his Twitter handle is "Shut Up Excalibur."
Yeah, I actually like Excalibur because I think he really does add something to that commentary team. Though, if you were gonna have a 3-man booth, that's the best 3-man booth I think I've ever heard. That's not saying much, but like it's the best 3-man booth because you got JR and Tony Schiavone and the veterans, and then you got the guy who knows all these guys and Excalibur, who's kind of like, and all of them do play-by-play, all of them tell the story, and all of them kind of know what they're doing. So it's nice and free-flowing, and it's not like so over the top, but it's also like, if anything is perfectly sports presentated, it's definitely that commentary team, at least sound-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
are on Dark as well, bouncing off each other, sharing
right.
And I'm further, Excalibur's also a former wrestler, so he's got that knowledge of, he's been there, he's done the thing. I also thoroughly enjoy when Jericho joins that team. My goodness.
It is my favorite.
When you enjoy it, he's a bit much for me.
Right.
I love Jericho. No, I'll tell you why.
He's a bit much.
He's
an asshole.
I love Jericho. All right.
In the rest
No, easy, brother. Breathe.
Let me do my thing. Let me explain why. Let me defend myself here. Why?
Right.
Because anytime this is my issue with Jericho on commentary. Anytime he's on commentary, and I get he's a heel, and I get that's a shtick, and I get it, but like, that anytime JR is trying to speak, or if anytime Tony speaks, or even when Excalibur speaks, it's to build to the story that's going on in the ring, and or during a segment, or something, or post-match, or pre-match, or something, right? And Jericho, like a freaking like nails on a chalkboard, cuts them off, and I hate him. And I'm like, stop it. You bitch! There was at one point, there was like at least 2 or 3 times when he did that. I'm like, I'm just gonna mute it, and I just muted it because it was so annoying. Because I'm like, I want to know what they're saying because I know they're going to provide me crucial information. Unlike most announcer teams on Raw and SmackDown, I'm actually going to be able to hear the information, and you are preventing me from hearing that vital information to get your stupid one-liners in. You asshole!
He's like, oh, he's demonstrating will. No, he's demonstrating willpower. Hell, it's like he's trying to find the words, too.
Oh, my God.
Stutters, too. That's another thing that pissed me off. It's like, I can be one to talk, because when I do my CW League and I'm commentating, I'll stutter like a motherfucker. But I'll stutter maybe once or 2 times, and then I'll at least get to the point vaguely, to some extent. But if you're not talking and you're just going, that's all, folks, and I can't hear what the hell they are and these other people are saying, you're pissing me off. Stop it.
It's funny. People wonder why I don't have a job in broadcasting.
Oh, my God.
I think the one-liner guy works when it's like a 2-man team. Like when Gorilla and Bobby did it, it was golden, legendary stuff.
Jerry and
the problem with Jericho doing what he's doing is there's too many damn cooks in the kitchen. If it was JR and Chris, or Tony and Chris, or even Excalibur and Chris, it might be better for James. I'm not sure, but it might be.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? You may have a point. I'll give a nice example. It will segue right nicely back to NXT. There was a match between, I think it was Kenta and Aleister Black, right? Mm-hmm. And JR was the guest commentator. Now, Percy Watson was on the team, but he barely was able to get a word in because he respected the people involved. Now, I understand Jericho's a bigger star, but he could have taken a few tips from Percy, because Percy was like not sitting back. Nigel and JR and Mauro was, it was just exquisite.
It
to
sounded
my
like
ears.
that is your ideal trio for commentary.
Well, it was absolutely the ideal trio for a commentary. Nigel knew his shit, Mauro knew his shit, JR knew his shit, and he was out of the game for a while. Like, it sounded wonderful. And Percy even added a few things, but it didn't take away from anything, and he just let them talk. He let them have their moment. You know what I mean? I wish Jericho could do that, and then he saved the one-liners. That's what most wrestlers do. It's like, Jericho tries to be like a full-on commentator while also being in gimmick, and it's such a turnoff for me. It's like the Michael Cole syndrome. It's the Michael Cole syndrome when he was a heel. That's my example of that. It's not that I don't hate Jericho. I love Jericho, but it was when you hear that every week, like, and he's just screaming about Pineapple Pete or freaking orange juice on his jacket or some BS. When, I already know that, Jericho. Can I please hear about what's actually going on in the ring? Thank you.
What's really funny about you saying that about Jericho, because this happened in my mind just as you said that. Jericho's first book,
yes,
Alliance Tale, he talks exactly about the WCW announced team doing that during his matches.
Larry Sabisco.
Yeah, Zabisco putting over his fucking golf game, Tony and Tenay putting over the NWO. Meanwhile, Jericho and Alex Rider having the freaking match of the night, and nobody gives a shit.
So Jericho, what you're telling me is Chris Jericho is now the modern day Larry Sabisco.
Ding.
Great, fantastic.
Block from Chris Jericho in 3, 2.
Oh no, actually,
Here we go.
I like Jericho. I actually like Jericho.
Like WCW.
I like Jericho over Larry Sabisco, and I'll tell you why.
By and large.
Yeah, by and large. Because at least Jericho will try to get the people over. At least his intentions are good. Larry just shit on everybody.
Larry, the minute that Larry Zabisco put that chair across Bruno's head, like, he was delusional for the next 40 years. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Awful.
He thought he knew karate.
Right.
Yeah, he thought he knew
Dark
karate.
moment in wrestling.
As we know, Bruce Pritchard's the only karate expert in wrestling. He's a 3-time karate black belt champion. So, there you go.
I guarantee you he's got nothing on Ernest Cat Miller. I'm a full-time karate champion.
Mr. Cat Miller couldn't hold James Brown's karate jockstrap. That's
Can't even hold Glacier's chops. Who are you kidding? Can't even hold Wrath's chops.
God bless Ray and his freaking Glacier gimmick till he dies.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Poor guy. He's settled with that for
You know, freaking Glacier, Ray and Brian Clark and Canyon. Good. Oh God.
Canyon was so good as Wrath, though. I actually would have liked to see him as stick as Wrath. I'm surprised it was Glacier that survived and not Wrath, to be honest with you. I thought Wrath was the better out of all three.
Mortis before he unmasked and became Canyon.
Was he? Mortis, Wrath. I don't know. They all the same to me.
Problem is,
WCW is NXT.
Exactly. It's again, NXT UK has the potential to make us wow again, and we haven't really done that since the pandemic started. I said this last night. People are crapping on Roman Reigns, and Lord knows, whatever. But Roman's return at SummerSlam was the first time I legitimately popped since I got locked down in March.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was off mic, off camera, and oh fuck, it's Roman! Like, I legitimately shouted that out loud before I came back on camera because I did not expect that.
Are you sure you popped, or were you just kind of taken aback that, oh shit, well, it's Roman? No,
I literally popped. Like, there was legitimate, like, my throat, my Adam's apple, like, literally went, like, spasmed for a second.
The goosebumps were there. You were like, holy shit, it's Roman. So was everybody on my Zoom party. We were like, didn't see that coming. Hey!
WWE finally didn't false advertise. Yay!
Has the opportunity to present a roster, give a presentation where we can start doing that every Thursday.
I really do. Yeah. and enjoy it, by the way, while you can, because soon they'll be brought up to the USA Network, and soon, when it's on the network, Vince is going to get his grubby paws on it, and he's going to ruin it, so that way none of you can be happy.
James calling the end of the world as we know it.
I still need to have Greg Cherry design a shirt for James that has Vince McMahon with a shovel in his hand and the different WWE brand logos underneath it with Vince going like this with a shovel.
Dude, imagine him doing that, but I'm like in the background in a priest uniform, just doing the Father, Son, Holy Spirit as they're being buried in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
What
All we need is that in meme form with Devon running, popping in and going, "Oh, testify!" Anyway.
Oh, testify, yeah. Devon will be right there with me.
Well, of course he would, because Devon's worked for Vince. So, there you go. So,
he still works for Vince.
Yeah,
I'm sure Devon regrets it some days.
Anyway. I wonder if people wake up and like, oh, God, I still work for this man.
Yeah.
But you know what? In that vein, look at Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was literally a guy in a suit for the last 5 years. And now he's like booking the territory pretty much on storyline. I think it's great to use Adam like that because I love me some Adam Pearce. So.
Yeah, me too. It's surprising that Adam Pearce has not been named a general manager.
Why hasn't he been, actually?
Because they're not going to use those terms anymore because they don't want to, because they think...
No, because they buried them to the point where it failed so epically because they've literally given them no manning. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is there not a general manager in NXT and NXT UK still?
Yes.
Pretty sure they're doing it right.
For those brands. That's the thing. So, you know...
Oh, no, it works for those brands.
NXT is not supposed to be Raw or SmackDown. They'll slowly becoming that. NXT UK hopefully will not. But if a cool announcement by NXT UK today, let's talk about that. Because Jeff, you know I'm a newcomer to the NWA, okay? You and Mark Griff, you guys really helped me, teach me about it. I love NWA Power. I can't wait for it to come back. And side note, I cannot fucking wait for Thunder Rosa to defend the NWA Women's Championship against Eva Lise on AEW Dynamite next week. Hell yes.
Let's go.
Now, with that being said, we've seen the Crockett Cup. That was like my real first highlight pay-per-view in the NWA.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay, I saw the Crockett Cup. I saw PCO, Brody King. They won the I saw Medusa and what was it, like Wild Cards, or what team was she representing? Damn it, it's eluding me. And then, of course, we saw Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then, of course, we saw Nick Aldis versus Marty Scurll 1. And I was like, holy cow, what a freaking match. I really wonder what this cup's going to be, though, because NXT UK is bringing a tournament of their own called the Heritage Cup. Now, we already talked about NXT UK does not have a mid-card title. Triple H also said he doesn't see a mid-card title coming to this brand anytime soon. So I really wonder what this cup is going to lead to, and what's your thoughts as far as, like, what do you hope for it to, like, do you hope that it builds like a new star to maybe contend for the NXT title, or what do you see coming out of this Heritage Cup tournament of 8 people? And we don't even know the participants.
Right. I think it has the potential. I think James will agree with me. Like back in my day, they would run they'd run the tournaments in Europe just for the European market. I mean, this isn't the same area, but like the Kuwait Cup and the different things in Germany and whatnot over the year, especially in the 90s, as the Attitude Era was starting to kick into gear, they could have a tournament where they have a cup to determine the number one contender for Walter or the number one contender for, or something. It's just, there's the potential. Again, we talked about a tournament earlier for the NXT Championship when Karrion Kross went down. Tournaments build contenders. Tournaments drive stories.
Unless you're Baron Corbin.
Huh? What's that?
Unless you're Baron Corbin.
Well, if you're Baron Corbin, you had one good thing going for you, and that was your theme song when you debuted in NXT, and that's gone. So there you go.
The theme song now is actually really good.
Among other themes that we will,
I don't mind his End of Days theme or the Royal remix of that, but my goodness, his Superhuman theme when he first debuted.
I loved it. I loved the entrance and everything about his presence. And don't get me started on the fact that we don't have Keith Lee's original NXT theme. And this generic crap they're doing now with Pitt and Royce. Anyway, going off the weeds. And also, I almost forgot, Jeff, this is also going to be under British rounds rules. All these matches. So, honestly, this feels like it's going to crown the best British professional wrestler. So, I really wonder what this is gonna like lead to or present.
Well, I mean,
it's
if
gonna be
it's
a different
anything
pace,
like the
clearly, versus
Cassius
what we
Ohno
normally
one,
see on
if it's
NXT
any-
UK, because we know
Let
how
me-
British Brown's match works.
Let me interject for a second. If it's anything like the Chris Hero one, oh no. Oh God. Please no. No. The only way that would be worse is if you just have Chris Hero shirtless the entire time. That is even. Oh God.
But he's in better shape than me.
Bleach
I'll
my
tell you that.
eyes, please.
You know, it's so funny because I cannot talk about weight issues or whatever.
Oh, everybody said the same thing with me that I can't talk about weight issues. I'm like, yeah, here's the difference. I'm not in the ring. See me
Right.
actually in the ring.
I'm actually going to learn what my weight is tomorrow, so I'll let you all know.
Oh, there you go. But I was going to indie shows, especially here in California, PWG, when Chris Hero was still Chris Hero size. So
Dude, I miss those days.
So-
That's when he was good.
I look at Chris Hero, then I look at Cassius Ohno, I go,
He ate Chris Hero.
he did.
Oh no!
He did. He did. He ate Chris Hero with some of Claudio's Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, he ate Chris Hero along with the entirety of Titus Catering.
damn.
That's what happened. That's exactly what happened.
And then we're trying to run into the tightest slider into the ring. Anyway. Here we go. See, it all ties in together, kids.
Ooh, and I got the list of the participants. But continue your thoughts, and then I'll give you more on the tournament, Jeff.
The bottom line is, like James said, or like you guys said, there's no way. Well, there is a way, but they shouldn't. They need to have this tournament actually go somewhere. And like I said, tournaments are vehicles to drive television. They're vehicles to generate contenders. They're vehicles to produce quality matches on your televised shows and your pay-per-views. Right. That's what tournaments should be it in sport, be it in wrestling, be it in poker, be it in anything.
Right.
It's funny how many tournaments are happening like right now. We got this Heritage Cup coming up. Ring of Honor is doing the pure Ring of Honor Championship Tournament. And Njpw Pro Wrestling is doing the G1 Climax. That's kind of crazy. Participants are Flash Morgan Webster, Nolan Dar, Alexander Wolf, A-Kid, The Bomber, Dave Mastiff, Trent Seven, and Joseph Connors, and a final wildcard entrant is yet to be determined.
I already got my pick in Joseph Connors. I don't even care.
Right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was before the hiatus. I was very highly praising of not only Gallus's theme, but Gallus, and I love those three guys to pieces. I really do. I would put Joe Coffey in that wild card slot personally. Because I love Joe Coffey. I think Joe Coffey, if anybody should have beaten Pete Dunne and it wasn't Walter, it should have been Joe Coffey. So there's that. And I think that, it's so funny because people were cheering Gallus even outside of Scotland, and Joe's like, no, we don't like you guys, shut the hell up. So it just he's one of those great heels where he wants to be a bad guy,
right?
So I love him.
It's funny we have all these tournaments because it actually got me thinking as we're talking about this. So obviously, I don't know why WWE just randomly announces a tournament, because while I am excited for the Heritage Cup, it was just kind of like randomly announced, like, oh, they're doing a Heritage Cup when they come back, which I get. You got to build some steam for your new the re-debut of NXT UK. But for me, it's like, why not just have the Heritage Cup? Why not also bring back the Cruiserweight Classic? Why not bring back the Mae Young Classic? Why not, implement these tournaments, and then your big tournament, do the New Japan style, like Jeff is saying, right? Why not add a G1 of sorts to WWE main roster? If all three brands matter that much, have a block for each brand. That would be that. I would actually watch Raw and SmackDown if that were the case. If they would actually do that, I'd watch that, because you could, if you do it like WWE, if you do it like New Japan and alter it, because I know it's like a triple threat, and you're ultimately the goal would be leading to a triple threat. between the 2-3 brands, and then whoever wins that, becomes the number one contender for whatever champion of their brand, and they main event WrestleMania. Because let's be honest, Royal Rumble, it's getting it's waning. I love the Royal Rumble. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's waning. They've made the main event of Mania being the prize. They didn't make that mean anything. Why not have this, be the thing to determine the main event?
You're kind of like basically burying gimmicks at this point in WWE. You're kind of figuring they're all waning at this point. Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, etc. Right. The list goes on and on.
You need to make new gimmicks at this point. You could still keep the old gimmicks so long as I don't know, have them matter.
But Jeff, but they have new gimmicks. It's called cinematic matches.
Here's the problem with doing tournaments on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They're not bringing enough people to TV each week to do that.
There you go.
Because they're
absolutely, yeah.
Right now. Now, when they get back into the arenas with 10,000 people in there, pull that trigger. Pull that fucking trigger, right? But the reason they're doing it in the UK is because the UK are not a bunch of idiots running their government and running their medical like we over here in the States are. So they can have tournaments where they can have, talent to build a tournament. But yeah, a G1 style tournament in WWE where you have all three brands involved is money. As far as the Rumble being
every week live.
Right. As far as Rumble being antiquated as a gimmick, I do agree with you to a certain extent that the Rumble being the WrestleMania main event
they killed that dead because
and to be fair to the Rumble, and I will grant them this, the Rumble winners this year had to challenge for the title at WrestleMania in a completely unforeseen circumstance.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If you have Drew McIntyre win the Rumble and challenge Brock in front of 100,000 people, whatever, 80,000 people, whatever it was,
dude, you would have got the biggest pop of the night.
And same thing with Rhea and Charlotte. That match was great just in front of nobody. And the fact people are going to shit on Charlotte, that's fine. But Charlotte in NXT the rub and going to the match with Rhea in front of 80,000 people.
That's how you build a star.
Now, Money in the Bank was a cluster. Horribly booked. Stupid finish on the male side.
Dude, how about the fact that Vince McMahon literally just kind of exposed himself too in that match? It was the Vince McMahon match. We're just gonna do a bunch of things and just go about it. Which, by the way, is
Grant. The Money in the Bank, and I could be wrong here. Help me out, guys. This is 15 years ago, so bear with me. Money in the Bank originally was for 5 or 6 guys that weren't getting through that main event barrier.
Personally, I like the 8 guys just because of the chaotic feel. I thought the best one was Mania 23. I thought the best one was Mania 23.
One of my all-time favorites.
Okay, well, whatever amount it is, what I'm saying is it wasn't designed to be what it ended up being this year. Now, granted, it's weird year. 2020's nuts, but the over gimmickry of Money in the Bank match and the combination of both matches in the same time span, I think greatly hurt the Money in the Bank concept this year. And again, we can look back on it next year and go, oh, 2020, fuck me. But, the only reason either of those matches got saved is because Asuka happened upon an opportunity because Becky Lynch got herself pregnant. So, if Asuka's the number one contender for a championship instead of the champion after Money in the Bank, where do you go? Do you have her face Bayley for the 432nd time? Or do you have her face Becky if she's healthy? I mean, we've seen those matches.
Right.
So why?
You want to know what's funny, Jeff? With that whole thing, I think I looked at what Becky did and I thought she was probably the smartest person in that entire locker room because she knew, well, if I get pregnant, I don't have to compete in this fucking shit show that's going on in the WWE right now. And boy, was she right.
Yeah.
Boy, was she right.
We talked about this yesterday on the review. How, as great as the basic match quality has been the last 6 months, even still, How far has the women's division fallen?
Badly. Oh my
No
god.
Charlotte, no Becky, no Ronda. Regardless of your feelings about Ronda and the way she talked about the business, the three of them being gone the last year has been catastrophic.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely catastrophic.
And granted, Sasha and Bailey have stepped the hell up. Those two
They own
Yes.
this division. If it was for them, who knows what this be?
Yeah, and again, we also about
And
said yesterday.
Asuka too. You can't forget about Asuka.
Yeah. Without those three, the women's division is not the horribleness that was the Azure era with the stupid gimmick matches, but the match quality is shit.
Yeah.
So, and again, we talked about earlier about the tag team women's division. The fact that they just now pulling the trigger with Bailey and Sasha is like, okay, fine.
Oh, and then how about the fact that they've buried Naomi and Mickey James, Natalia?
Yep.
Like, come on, guys, it's ridiculous. Like how?
Burying Natty, she's not farting this time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, who cares?
God.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm hearing those WWE marks right now. Trust me, I'm hearing them. The defenders of the WWE coming in the
This
woodwork.
from NXT.
Well, at least she's not farting. Well,
Wrestling Armageddon. God.
maybe she shouldn't have had the farting gimmick to begin with. If that's the thing you equate it to, at least she's not farting. Well, then you already proved my point, then, didn't you, dude?
She's not farting because she isn't getting shit on.
Haha.
Fun bump.
These are the jokes, folks.
And 90 minutes later, let's talk about actual women in wrestling. So, NXT. So we're talking about Tegan Nox. It looks like they're building a program now with Tegan Nox and Candice LeRae after the Gargano dinner went to hell and a 55-inch TV was broken. I would break someone's face if they broke my TV. But I look forward to this singles feud because I feel both would have a really good match, but I've been saying it since I saw it live last year. Candice LeRae is a future NXT Women's Champion. If anyone's going to take the title off Io Shirai, I think it's going to be Candice LeRae.
They
It
gotta
sucks
do it.
because I know now that's what that's going to mean for Tegan Nox. It's going to be another feud where in the end, she loses. It's like Mia Yim. She has the potential, but she's just basically been, again, lost in the shuffle. It's like, okay, what have you really done lately? What was your last match? Sasha Blackheart. You lost to her. It surprises me she wasn't bumped up to another roster with her husband, honestly. With how long she's been NXT and hasn't got a chance to get the gold. Her last chance at the gold was against Shayna Baszler, and she lost. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, give me your thoughts on the NXT women's division and the direction for a couple in your mind outside maybe Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae.
Well, to be fair, Mia Yim's last match was with the camera trying to get on camera time during her Retribution act. I said it. I mean it. Whatever. I don't give a damn. And I love Mia, so it's not her fault. I promise it's not her fault. I have said the greatest of Candice LeRae for almost 20 years. I think she's ridiculously undervalued, not underrated, because people know how great she is.
You're damn right.
Undervalued by management is definitely a thing with her. And I unfortunately feel she's been stymied as, oh, you're just Mrs. Johnny. It's like, no.
Get her out that bubble.
I will forever point to a picture. I'll never forget as long as I live because I was supposed to be at this show and I couldn't go. And I hate it to this day that I wasn't there. Her and everybody's favorite speaking out guy, Joey Ryan, against the Bucks.
Yes.
Guerrilla warfare. This lady went into a no-holds-barred hardcore tag team match with the Young Bucks and Joey Ryan, and she was the only one at the end of that match whose face Gordon Soley would have loved. A crimson mask. There's a picture of her and Joey with the tag titles, with Knox celebrating, and you can't see her face skin.
Blood red mask.
It's ridiculous. She is the toughest woman, I dare say the toughest woman I know besides my own mother. She is crazy. And if they would turn her loose, she could be the greatest thing in the NXT women's division, period.
Yeah, 100%. They absolutely need to push Candice. I've been calling that since that match with Io Shirai. That was a barn burner.
So damn glad I saw that live. My favorite match that entire SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah, 100%. It was such a great match. I remember I remember seeing Sasha and Bayley live, and I hadn't seen a freaking all-out great women's match since the Bayley Sasha program. That's how good that match was. It was right up there with that.
Yep.
It was so good.
Candice has been so busy doing the intergender thing and teaming with Joey the last decade or so that people forget how great of a wrestler she can be. It's just with against talent.
Yeah,
so,
100%. By the way,
they need to tap into that talent, and they're not tapping into it until like now. And I hope finally they pull the trigger, because now we need a challenger for Io Shirai, because I see what's coming next. Sashi Black and Io Shirai, they're gonna have a match. Good for them.
Yeah,
Then she's gonna finally confront Io Shirai, because now she should be over the Robert Stone brand after destroying the veteran Mercedes Martinez. So do it already. Give Candice LeRae the rub, because she can redefine the women's division in NXT. Period.
Yes.
You haven't had somebody like that since Asuka, and she never lost the damn belt. You had
I would actually argue Shayna Baszler, since Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. Okay, good point. Good point.
Shayna Baszler.
I will not. My friend Megan would kill me for forgetting that.
Yeah. You better not. You better not, because one of the four horsewomen will beat your ass.
Again, the four horsewomen can beat the ass off anybody in WWE. It's as simple as that.
Except Amanda Nunes. I'm sorry, I had to. The jab was too good. Speaking of people that should reach their full potential, and I hope the machine gets behind them. Bronson Reed. Yeah, Bronson Reed, 100%. That guy to me is your money guy in NXT right now. He is the perfect fill-in spot for where Keith Lee left off. He's athletic. He's charismatic. He's loved. I love Bronson Reed. I don't know about everybody else, but I freaking love me some Bronson Reed. Some Ozilla coming in there, wrecking shit, doing the body splash, the biggest body splash I ever seen. This dude is awesome. I love Bronson Reed. Freaking awesome. Oh, Jeff, you went out. Your microphone went out. I think you muted. Something happened.
Oh,
there we go. As we were.
Hate this fucking thing. Anyway, I want to see Bronson Reed have a match where he faces anybody and do the superplex just to have the ring break, because he'd be the guy to break the ring.
We have to see the NXT ring break. I would love
it. Right, exactly. Dude, like, imagine him in the era of guys like he's like 20 years too late. Like, imagine him with Vader, with Bam
Bam Bigelow all day.
God, Bronson Reed is a special kind of talent that, again, if they just let him at the cage a little bit of the time, you've got your money for the next 6 to 8 months easily.
I mean, his breakout moment was the ladder match, as James put it. That splash with LeRae on his back, breaking Gargano. That was
I thought he broke Candice's jaw.
Seriously, I'm watching my friend of almost 15 years going, "Oh, please don't die, sweetie. Please don't die." Oh my God.
Don't die chant would have been prevalent in Full Sail.
My God.
I chanted at home, but I was also on mic, so I couldn't say it out loud. Bronson is definitely a special person, and I really feel that he should be the guy that is feuding with Priest for a good chunk of time.
Oh, that's going to be a great match. I know Thatcher is probably just, he's probably just like the little hump in the road for Priest's title reign, but I really do hope that it's Priest versus Bronson, because
you need to find the right opponent for Thatcher. They haven't found that right mix with him, I feel like, in NXT.
Balor was a great mix, I thought.
I keep saying either bring Gulak down or bring Thatcher up.
There you go. Enough said. And you know how much I'm behind Drew Gulak. I met him live at SummerSlam. I literally held his NXT, it was just the Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah. Gulak and Thatcher again. You don't want to. I don't want to use anything that's not my own, and that's fine, Vince. You don't have to. Let Hunter do it.
Yeah, please, we're begging you, please.
Seriously, here, let Johnny Saint and Sid do it. How about that?
Leave my people alone.
When you wish to book the talent, let my people go. Anyway, I'm gonna get hate mail for that one. Anyway, don't care.
Welcome to the club, brother. I haven't cared for the last 5 years. With this
I don't care, Randy.
It's like, okay, wait. Here's my fucks to give.
I got
honestly,
about one. I got a piece of green bean. Do you want it, kids?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Thatcher and Gulak, I feel, are grossly underutilized, and if they put those guys together like they were in the Indies, especially with the United Wrestling Network, they could tear any tag team division apart. They could.
100%. Agree with you.
Speaking of tag teams, what do we need to do in NXT to have more tag teams? I get it. We're doing the rematch. Imperium faces our new champion, Breezango. But honestly, Imperium, they're heading back to NXT UK. They're going to go after Gallus. I have to see that. So you literally have basically one other team right now in Legado del Fantasma. What do we do to rebuild a tag team division in NXT if nowhere else?
Yeah. Question,
Are Gallus NXT UK Tag Team Champions? I'm forgetting. I'm sorry.
Yes, Gallus is still your NXT UK Tag Team Champions. And there's at least 8 teams there after NXT UK previewed their in-depth tag team division last week on their NXT UK special.
I need to go back and watch that. As far as NXT here on stateside, yeah, they've kind of pooped all over the tag team division. I mean, you've got teams, yes, but Breezango's the champions. You got Lorcan and Birch, who have been there. They've had about 482 tag team title shots, and they should have already won the damn things if we're going to be honest about it.
Yeah, they beat Imperium, to be honest with you.
You've got the Phantasma's team, which again, I like the guy that used to be Z-Mayan and and I like the team. I like all 3 guys, but you can't build a tag team division around 3 teams.
No.
And
here's another thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You purchased Evolve. How the hell are you not bringing in any of the other tag teams that were on Evolve? Why aren't we? You know what? Here's a good question. Why not do Evolve Tag Team Champions versus NXT Tag Team Champions in a winner-take-all scenario? We know you bought Evolve. It's over for them at this freaking point. First off, that's another question. Why is an NXT show? NXT sounds like a company anyway. Why don't you just call it NXT Evolve?
Hey, Triple H said he wants to make the brand global organization. There's your first step.
It is the evolution of NXT after all. So there you go.
It is the evolution. Evolution is a mystery, right? Full of change and no one sees.
Damn.
Wait.
Pull one out for my boy Lenny.
Yeah.
Last little drop of Jack there. There you go.
Yeah, it's just weird. It feels like to me NXT has put themselves in a corner, especially with their tag team division. And they got a lot of potential with the women's division, but they're just not capitalizing on all of it. I just hope right now they're capitalizing on Candice LeRae, if nobody else. And I hope to see LeRae versus Sarai come the next takeover. And we finally get LeRae as NXT Women's Champion without Gargano's assistance. You don't need that tie-in. She doesn't need that at all.
Yeah. And that will be the day, honestly, too. But the one thing I wish we could get also is just bring the Lucha House Party down to NXT, please. 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 You're really ruining my boys over there. I liked them. I actually liked them when Vince ran the Cruiserweight division better than how they're being used now. What are you doing to my boys?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you doing my boys like that?
The same.
Yep.
It's not necessarily better.
No.
Right.
But as far as what you can do about the tag teams, to get back to the question Noah asked about 45 minutes ago, honestly, I don't know, because they're using the guys that they have that they want to use. I would. There's so
War Raiders,
right?
War Raiders.
Seriously, the War Raiders have become a a spaz at best on the main roster, or at Raw, excuse me. Unfortunately, one of them's hurt right now. So, you know,
I saw that, unfortunately.
bringing them back right now, not so good. But
yeah, no shit. Yeah,
but once you get them healthy, yeah, put them back in NXT. And honestly, take the stupid Viking name away from them. I think that's goofy. And I get they live that gimmick, and that's fine. But the War Raider, you can't call them War Machine because Sinclair owns that. Fine. War Raiders work for me. So, But again,
I thought the War Raiders was better than the name War Machine.
I did too, but if we're trying to keep people, so
it had to be the Viking experience, pal.
I see it as Vikings with swords and shields. That's good. Shut the fuck up, Vince. Get out of here with that crap.
Shut up, dude. Where's Tony Schiavone with that sit-down moment of, that will put the butts in the seats? Jesus Christ. That was what almost turned me off of NXT. Not even anything NXT did. When they turned the War Raiders into the Viking experience, that almost killed me from ever watching NXT again. That's how close I was because of that. And I can't even begin to tell you how depressed I was for a week because of that. I met these guys at Ring of Honor Best in the World, the tapings after Best in the World. By the way, awesome show live.
Yes.
And I saw, and I'm watching this. I was there live for that, like actually in mass. And I met their father, one of the fathers of them, and, seemed like a genuine guy. I got to meet them, and I'm like, these guys are awesome. I got to see them versus the Machine Guns live. I never thought I'd ever. Dude, not only that, I saw them versus the Best Friends versus the Young Bucks live. I then saw, right after that, the Machine Guns the next day. It was the best night. It was the best 2 nights of wrestling for me. Thank God for Casey, my best friend, in the whole wide world. And I got to see them, and then they just ruined my boys. And I hate that because it's like they're so good. And then you're just like, so you're Vikings. That's the way you are, pal. Yeah. All right. Well, we can't use war because, TV TV contract and that. Viking experience. Go. Oh boy.
I fear for people right now on the roster like Peyton Royce, Keith Lee.
Yep.
Just so many names right now going through my mind. I'm like, what's the worst thing Vince could possibly do to them? Let me fantasy.
All of them. There's your answer. All of them.
Yes.
Well, it starts with the change in music, then it's the change in attire, and then we change the names
in style.
Although Peyton and Billy's entrances not so bad Monday.
And Peyton's music needs some improvement, in my opinion, but the entrances are still on point. I miss Peyton's NXT theme, if I'm honest with you.
There you go.
Let's go the other side of the pond. Talk about NXT UK's women's division. It sounds like the big focus right now is Kylie Ray versus, well, James, I'm sure, has a lot to say about this wrestler. Viper / Piper Niven.
No, I actually remember I said I actually liked her in the last match. Do you not remember
you
this?
said you actually liked her in that last match, but what was your I forget. What
right. Oh, that wasn't Niven's fault, I don't think. Looking back at it now. How long ago was that rundown? Because I don't remember now.
Oh Lord, it was long, dude.
Did I say a lot of shit?
It's been 84 years, and I can still smell the fresh china. Wait, sorry, what?
Are you sure that's not Saudi Arabia? I mean, what?
What?
Dude, I'm loaded with these.
Okay.
Dude, I got a revolver. I could just go all night. I could go all night with this.
Practice sensor. All right. I think about NXT UK's women's division. They got a lot of great talent there. Ginny, Isla Dawn. I miss Killer Kelly. I'm gonna miss her. She was one of mine. I should join.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. She left.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, she left. Went back to Portland. Congratulations. Got recently engaged.
Oh,
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me.
Go ahead, BBJ. Come here, wait. But anyway.
Hey, Tony Khan, sign her, please, because she's actually really good. Please
Yeah.
sign her. Please
Somebody sign her. Oh my God.
sign her. I don't
Somebody.
care. Don Callis, go for it. Do it. Somebody,
There you go.
please. Stardom. Get her. Anybody.
Killer Kelly, man, was one of my favorite.
Anybody.
And I'm not just saying that because she likes most of my tweets since I talked about her match with Michael Satomura in the Mae Young Classic. I'm just want to put that out there. Anyway.
Michael Satomura, though.
But, I mean, I look at people like Ayla Valkyrie, Nina Samuels, Ginny, Xia Brookside, Piper Niven. We have no idea where the hell Toni Storm is at this point. But I feel like right now the NXT UK Women's Division, as far as, you know, their champion, Kylie Ray, yeah, she's having 300 days, but can you really call it a reign when you don't defend the title? I'm just saying. So how do we approach rebuilding the NXT UK Women's Division? Do you still go straight after the whole idea of Piper Niven versus Kylie Ray, or what do you do with that? Because right now, that's really one thing they really haven't heavily discussed outside those two. James, your thoughts?
My thoughts are simple for that. Just because I feel like you've gotten as much as you can with her on the American side, and I do not think you should bring her to the main roster because we know how that works. Rhea Ripley down to NXT UK. I think there's some unfinished business there. Toni Storm, same thing. Keep her down there so that way we can get that, those two back down there as well, because you need to build up that women's division a little bit. And plus, there's a ton, and I mean a ton, of talent in NXT's women's division right now. If you really want somebody that could really bolster up that roster as well, that really will not win the NXT Women's Championship in U.S. soil, I would bring Dakota Kai without Raquel Gonzalez for the love of God.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Dakota Kai, 100%. I think those three would be a very good building block to start with.
Yeah, fair enough. What's next for Toni Storm? Because Toni Storm can't challenge Kylie Ray, remember? After losing that I Quit match.
Kylie Ray loses it to Rhea Ripley. There you go. It's just...
unfinished business. Jeff, your thoughts? I was personally thinking Ayla Valkyrie. She's thoroughly impressed me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind her being in the discussion for sure. I mean, there's definitely unfinished business with Toni and with Rhea on that brand. Piper Niven, she's been sitting idly by, waiting for the world to right itself, and now she'll have her chance hopefully. And Kaylee Ray, again, she's can you really call yourself a dominant champion when you haven't defended the title in 6 months? But then again, the NWA's the NWA says the same thing about Aldis, so. Well, exactly. If you're a heel, exactly, and that's the thing. Nick Aldis, as the NWA champion, has been champion for over almost 700 days, but he's had 2 matches in 6 months. So that kind of. Yeah. But I'm not discrediting Nick Aldis because I don't want to get blocked again. But
don't pull a Bruce Pritchard.
Well, I think Bruce is the one guy that I've lambasted that hasn't blocked me yet, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But but yeah, there's again with the women's division, with the tag division, and with the heavyweight division, there is definite superstar television production potential.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. If they just keep it, keep it simple, stupid. It's very simple. Just stay the course. Don't deviate from where you were going prior to the shutdown. Because, like I said at the top of the show, which is about 4 days ago now, NXT UK was my favorite brand other than the NWA. Yep. And they have the potential, depending on how TV goes next week, to grab that spot back from the NWA in my eyes.
Yeah, probably.
We'll see on Tuesday and we'll see on Thursday how they go.
Like I've always said, NJPW for the last decade has been like my favorite thing. But when NXT UK was introduced, I was like, "This is freaking awesome." So they bring that back to me.
Because I've never been exposed to British wrestling or anybody from that scene, and God bless Hunter's acumen to go. There's something over there, and it's an amazing brand. Like I said, I shouldn't love Gallows' theme like I do, but damn it, it's my favorite theme in wrestling right now. I love that. It's so simple and so understated.
It's like a subdued New World Order theme, really.
Right? Yeah. Like, seriously, the NWO theme is just generic shit track that was in the
Same with Gallus. Same with Gallus.
the Turner Library that, Bischoff went, and here we are 25 years later, still throwing it up every time that damn opening guitar riff hits. Gallus's theme is in that same vein, I feel. So
I mean, it's mostly just drums and a guy going, hey, yeah. And it's subtle simplicity in a theme is all you need. You don't need to revamp the same guitar riff for the 25 different superstars just because you have a disagreement with some music label or you want to be that lazy.
And the thing
don't
is,
even get me started.
We'll be here for another 45 hours at that rate.
We've got already 90 minutes, so fuck it.
Gallus is gritty, bare bones, basic, kick-ass machines.
Love it.
Yeah.
So their theme.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
But yeah, NXT UK on Thursday. I cannot wait until whatever time it's on. It needs to be Thursday. And it needs to be Tuesday for me for the NWA side of things because I'm just like I said on Twitter, I have not paid for a paid wrestling event outside of WWE since the 2019 Crockett Cup.
Oh, that's sad.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
Like I had no desire to watch anything. Now, did I watch AEW on pay-per-view? Yes.
We have our ways.
Wait, that's it. But I wasn't compelled to throw down $50 4 times a year for that. It's great stuff, but I'm not paying $200 a year for it.
I'll pay 25 and share it with a person, but yeah.
Yeah, that would be a whole different discussion. Actually, we're going to talk about how I actually on the alternative cheap plug. We're going to talk about how they maybe should work out a deal with Don Callis to maybe merge Impact with AEW. That way, they get the Impact Plus app. That way, they can start selling their pay-per-views for cheaper.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. To answer your question, NXT UK returns next week, Thursday, September 17th from the W Network, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I believe that's 3 hours back. I think that's noon your time.
That is noon my time, as it was before, so that's good. That's
okay,
good.
So it's the same spot. Nothing's changed there. I can't wait, personally, but I got one more thing to say. Why'd you change its freaking theme? I liked Dustin.
Oh,
damn it.
Dustin was a great theme. Honestly, I really did like that theme. I would love to talk more, gentlemen, but I got to wrap it up so that way I don't disturb my neighbors and get us kicked out of the house because I can't do these shows if I'm homeless. So.
Time's up.
Yeah. With that being said, obviously, thank you guys for watching the NXTeam. Jeff, since you are our honorary guest, do you have anything to plug? I'm sure you got a lot going on in the world of podcasting and streaming.
I have not stopped working since the Monday before SummerSlam, and I don't foresee myself stopping at any time, and I love that I'm keeping busy. I've made more money on the audio side of things in the last month than I have in the entire year I've been doing the audio side. So I encourage everybody to go to anchor.fm/Jeff Meacham Network. Please check out all the shows. I basically do the live streams on the YouTube side of things, and of course on Facebook and Twitter, and then I upload the audio portions to Anchor. And if you guys don't want to look at my mug for an hour, and I don't blame you for that, there you go. You have the audio option.
Yeah, you know what? I might invest that. You got to show me how that works because I want to try.
Well, what I'll do is I will take this show and put it on the Anchor side of things. That way you can see how it works. So there you go.
Perfect. So I'm fine with that. You absolutely can do that.
So, and then you can catch me again at youtube.com/Jeff Meacham, and buy the shirt and buy this lovely tapestry at teespring.com/stores/Jeff-Meacham-Network. I gotta change that damn name. Noah.
It's all you, man.
All right. Well, first off, we are NXT, but we're also wrestling fans, and we can talk wrestling all day and night. And
G1 motherfuckers, yeah, G1. I was there live.
Lucky, damn it, Lucky! Anyway, people want to know more about me. Yeah, he got me triggered. Know this, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of ... wrestling. So
wrestling.
Want to talk to me about anything wrestling? Twitter, it's nodq.com/Noah, or for those 8 URLs, at NFoster1916. It's NFoster1916 on Instagram and PlayStation as well. I'll get you and beat you at games there. Instagram, I'll give you a hello and thoughts on wrestling there too. Civil YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Bill210 for all things wrestling. Shout out to my ATW family on Twitter. I do reviews and predictions and podcasts and series on AEW, Njpw, some solo moments at times with WWE too, including my moment where the Iconics broke up, but that's a different story. And as always, support independent wrestling. That's at the heart of it. And as always, support your wrestling others big and small. Let's keep growing this community together. I could go on all night, but I know we're tired, so I'll just close with that. Simple as that.
Simple as that. Definitely, you guys can check me out on youtube.com/user/JHebertside95. That's JHEBERTSIDE95 on the URL. Make sure you check that out. Lots of content for not only me, but for the entirety of the FTW Productions family, Noah included in that. So make sure you give both of us a sub. We got, a part of the conglomerate. We got Indie Force, Open Mic Night, Wrestling Rundown, Indie Force, AEW Spark, Jenna Lee's Beauty Slam, and everything in between. Oh my God, I almost knocked down my microphone. Jesus Christ. Make sure you check out all that content, including Weymouth Youth Wrestling, which you can check out on youtube.com/user/WYW Pride. If you like custom Titantron edits, I will be posting one for Mr. Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF, because he's better than you, and you know it, with the rendition by These Wolves mixed with the AEW versions, and it sounds awesome. So go check that out. That will be premiering Tuesday at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you've turned that post notification bell on when you subscribe to my main channel. Also check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling, like I said, and also check out the Hibiki TMD, youtube.com/user/RECKLESSYOUTH84. That's Reckless Youth 84. I host the Alternative Podcast currently until Travis gets back, where, as I said, we will be discussing the whole Impact AEW idea on that podcast, as well as the happenings of AEW All Out and AEW Dynamite from this week. So be tuning in for that as well. And with that, that's all my plugs. And until next time, we will see you NXT time.
Have a good night, folks.